Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this lesson. Today I am going to discuss on the topic My Grandmother by Elizabeth Jennings. In this lesson, I will discuss line by line explanation, word meanings, poetic devices, theme and moral of the poem. So here I begin. And before that, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If you haven't subscribed up till now, then please do. And watch the video till end. And press the like button if you have liked it. So let us start with the poem My Grandmother, which is written by Elizabeth Jennings. First of all, I will discuss the title of the poem, My Grandmother. My grandmother refers to the grandmother of the poet Elizabeth Jennings and her relationship with her grandmother. This poem is about a reflection of what had happened in the past. The poem shows the poetess' grandmother's love for antique, hence, she had an antique shop before giving it up due to her old age. This is a poem regarding women relationship, the poet and the dead grandmother. Hence, the title of the poem is quite justified. Now I will tell you something about the poet Elizabeth Jennings. She was born on 18th July 1926 and died on 26th October 2001. She was an English poet and has written many poems like A Way of Looking, Song for Mark or Death, etc. and has also won many awards like Somerset Maugham Award, etc. Now let us start with the first stanza, and the lines are: She kept an antique shop, or it kept her, among apostle spoons and Bristol glass, the faded silk, the heavy furniture. She washed her own reflection in the brass, salvers and silver bowls, as if to prove polish was all. There was no need of love. Now the word meaning. Antique means ancient, or it refers to collectible object such as piece of furniture or work of art having high value because of its age and quality. Salver means a tray made of silver. Faded means dim or less bright in color than before. Now the explanation of the first stanza. In this stanza, the poet describes her grandmother and says that her grandmother kept an antique shop, or it kept her. These lines describes her loneliness. The only thing she had was her antique shop, and it was the means of her living. She has apostle spoons, Bristol glass, silk, and heavy furniture in her shop. She keeps all the things clean and polished, and she can see her own reflection in it. This stanza compares the poet's grandmother to an antique shop, which refers to her old age and loneliness. Her only companion were the apostle spoons and Bristol glass was her only companion. The faded silk and the heavy furniture, these were her companions. She watched her own reflection in the brass, salvers, and the silver bowls, as if to prove that only polish was required and there was no need of any love. This stanza shows that the poet's grandmother cherished her antique shop more than anything or anyone. She kept lots of antiques which had a great relationship and passion with her and her possessions. There was a good atmosphere in the shop. She polished the objects and antiques very well, which shows that it was a well run shop. But while reading the lines, as if to prove polish was all, there was no need of love, gives the impression that the poet's grandmother was very lonely and there was a great sense of solitude. The image of furniture, which becomes like a metaphor, the furniture have no energy. They are cold, old, solid objects, and this in some ways reflects the grandmother's personality. These objects take her away from the people who can actually give back love, and she will remain, but she remained lonely. Now I move towards the second stanza, and the lines are: And I remember how I once refused to go out with her, since I was afraid it was perhaps I wish not to be used like antique objects. Though she never said that she was hurt, I still could feel the guilt of that refusal, guessing how she felt. Now, the word meaning: afraid means scared, hurt means to feel pain, guilt means the fact of having committed a specified or implied offense or crime. Refusal means an expression of unwillingness to accept or grant an offer or request. Now, the explanation of the second stanza. In this stanza, the poet describes the incidents which causes her guilt. This incident had happened with her in her childhood. The poet remembers one incident with her grandmother. Once, the grandmother asked the poet to go out with her, but the poet refuses. Although grandmother did not tell her anything, as if she was hurt, but now the poet feels guilty for her refusal. The poet describes her memories and her relationship with her grandmother while she was alive and after she died. She did not realize that it would have been hurtful towards the grandmother on her rejection. After all, the grandmother was lonely and probably only wanted to socialize with the poet more. It was only when the poet reflects upon this then she realizes how hurtful it possibly would have been and hence becomes guilty. This tells the readers to pity her, that the poet, though she was a child, she did not realize and understand how it can hurt a person. Now I move towards the third stanza, and the lines are: Later, too frail to keep a shop, too frail to keep a shop, she put all her best things in one narrow room. The place smell of absence, where shadows come that can't be polished. That was nothing then to give her own reflection back again. Now the word meaning. Frail means weak, narrow means small or tapered, reflection means impression. Now the explanation of the third stanza. In this stanza, the poet shows her grandmother's retirement. It shows the antique shop of the grandmother. As we have seen that in the first stanza, the scene starts when the antique shop is being run by her grandmother, while in the second stanza, we have seen that grandma has aged and is unable to run her antique shop. While in this stanza, we see that the poet's grandmother has become too weak to run a shop. The shop becomes overwhelmed with dust and is smelt old of this too long kept shut, which could also reflect to the possible relationship between the grandma and the poet. They did not have a close relationship, and her refusal that poet had gone to her grandmother would have made the things worse. Through this stanza, the poet wants us to think about what we do towards anyone can have a great impact in the future. What one can have a great impact in the future. We should learn to cherish with everyone during their lifetime. Otherwise, when a person passes away, then the guilt stays on forever with us during our lifetime. In this stanza, we see that the poet's grandmother had become old and was not able to run the shop. So she puts all her things in one narrow room. The room smelled old and the things were shut for too long, and there was absence of her grandmother. Now nobody was polishing the things, and so she could not see her reflection. Now I move towards the fourth and the last stanza, and the lines are: And when she died, I felt no grief at all, only the guilt of what I once refused. I walked into her room among the tall sideboards and cupboards, things she never used but needed, and no finger marks were there, only the few dust falling through the air. Now, the word meaning. Grief means intense sorrow, especially caused by someone's death. Refused means to decline, and finger marks refers to the fingerprints. Now, the explanation of the fourth and the last stanza. In this stanza, the poet tells us about the grandmother's life and her own memories after her grandmother passes away. When the poetess mother dies, she feels no pain, just guilt for her refusal to go outside with her, which shows that the poet was not so close to her grandmother. She walks in the room seeing tall sideboards and cupboards. There were no finger marks on anyone, but just a few dust falling through the air. So, children, through this poem, we have learned that there is a family and grief which is explored only after the death of the poet's grandmother. Long distance between them focuses on love that does not end with death and continues forever. It focuses on the absence of love that could have been there. Although they were not so close to each other, yet they were still blood related. So, in this stanza, the poet explores a very personal memory of the guilt she still feels about the way she behaved towards her grandmother on a particular occasion. Now, dear children, I'll tell you the theme of the poem. My Grandmother is a simple and beautiful poem which leaves an impression into the mind of the reader. Following are the themes of the poem. So my first theme is though the sound of the brass, salvers, and bowls are unwelcoming to the readers to betray her disapproving attitude to the shop, but to the grandmother, the antiques had great importance. They are needed, though never used, are a substitute for human company, a replacement of love. My second theme is as the grandmother takes pride in possessing her antique objects, the poet wishes not to be used like antique object is a wish not to be acquired of the same kind of attention the antique receives. And though the grandmother can see her own reflection in the antique, she is denied the chance to see it in her granddaughter. My third theme is the poet explores feelings in adequacy in dealing with her memories of her relationship with her grandmother. My fourth theme is the poetess seem to explore the difficulties in relationship and with people's feelings as opposed to the inanimate objects her grandmothers collected around herself. My fifth theme is the poet's feeling about the death, not grief but guilt, is characterized by the honesty of its attempt to look back as an adult on a relationship that as a child was bound up with a feeling of fear and guilt. My sixth theme is the fact that beneath the image of polish, silver and brass lies someone who can be hurt, who feels though never speaks about how she felt. And the last theme of the poem is aging to death. The theme of remembering the loved ones is also reflected in the poem. Now, the moral of the poem. My Grandmother by Elizabeth Jennings is about a reflection of what had happened in the past. The poem shows the poet's grandmother's love for antique. Hence, she had an antique shop before giving it up due to her old age. In this poem, the poet describes her feelings as guilt. The poem gives us several morals. The first one is that one with deep thought will figure futility. The second moral is, which we learn, is that when we become old and is nearer to our end, then many cherished things are left behind. My third moral of this beautiful poem is the loneliness, which is humans' worst enemy, but people neglect the company of their aged ones, calling them out of date or outdated. The poem is interesting because it brings back the reader's mind the truth that we never value a good thing till it is gone. So, dear children, you must value your grandparents. Give them lots of love and respect. They are the eminent personality who will also give you something by way of their experience and those realities of life which you will never read in any books. Always remember, you all, and especially your grandparents, value is much greater than the mountains made of gold. You're all elders, and especially your grandparents, children, keep in mind their value is much greater than the mountains made of gold. Hence, respect them, honor them, and love them. So, dear children, with these words, I end my lesson. Hope this lesson will be beneficial for you in your studies. Do like, share, and subscribe my video. Hope you will also follow the moral of this poem. Thank you.